Mini isn't just revealing two concept cars, it's rethinking what JCW can look like. In collaboration with Deus Ex Machina, the brand has taken its 2023 design language and pushed it to a more expressive retro territory. The result, two one-off JCWs, one electric and shaped by surf culture, the other a raw motorsport spec Mini. Both start with that same foundation, of course, one electric and one combustion. Each wears that bold white X across the roof and embraces that mechanical and polished aesthetic. Exposed seams, chunky switches. Are we looking at sort of an outlaw aesthetic like Magnus Walker? I don't think so. I think this is more layered, more modern, and in some ways simpler, while still being really interesting. Let's talk about the Skeg. Yes, kind of a weird name. But that is the name that the designers have given the electric version of these JCW concepts. And on the surface, it may look like a pretty big departure from the JCW tradition. But underneath, of course, it's very much what we expect. This is a J01 electric JCW. However, it is lighter. It's about 15% lighter due to all of that fiberglass and some of that aluminum as well. And so what we see here is many chasing weight savings within this concept, much like they have with the GP, for instance, or some of their race cars. So that ethos is definitely carried through, but it's carried through using materials borrowed from surfboards and things like that rather than carbon fiber. That fiberglass spoiler, of course, looks awesome, but it is also functional, creating more stability and reducing the lift as well. Inside, it's really interesting because the designers have riffed off of that newly stripped back sort of control and sort of aesthetic that we see in the J01 and, of course, all new Minis. And they've not only done that, but they've added color and then really welcome mechanical touches. And I think that, to me, is one of the key themes in these cars. Yes, the surf details set it apart, but at its core, the Skeg carries what the JCW brand has always stood for. It carries on that tradition, making something compact, sharper, but not just through additions, but also through subtraction. Machina. Let's talk about the petrol version. The Machina takes the opposite approach. Where the Skeg is a clean, minimal look, the Machina doubles down on motorsports cues. The widened fenders and rally-styled lamps connect directly back to the Minis that shocked the world at Monte Carlo in the 60s. The massive rear wing and Nordschleife-style diffuser pull from Mini's more recent racing programs. That's where Aero isn't just styling, it's survival. We definitely see that here. Inside, it's even more bare bones than the GP3. A roll cage, raw aluminum floor plates, a hydraulic handbrake, which is awesome, by the way. They really strip away anything that's unnecessary. It echoes that stripped out interior of Mini's recent ring racing cars, or the utilitarian feel of Mini's 60s rally cars. Nothing's polished, but that's the point. The Machina is an unfiltered reminder that JCW's best moments have always been about direct connection, not decoration. The design language comes from two folks, Carby Tuckwell from Deus Ex Machina and longtime collaborator Matt Wiley. Matt Wiley isn't just a designer of posters and paint schemes. He was the art director of the New York Times Magazine for quite a while and is now a partner at Pentagram, one of the most influential independent design firms in the world. His background in editorial and graphic design shows up in ways that really, I think, brings the boldness out of type and shape and color and creates this sort of functional aesthetic that feels very honest. And yes, a little decorative, but there's meaning there, typically in every sort of moment. This connection matters because it roots these concepts not in fashion or marketing, but in serious design culture. Just as JCW has always blurred the line between racing and the street, Wiley's work here blurs the line between pure design and automotive expression. It reminds us of some of the more dramatic liveries of the 1960s and even the bombastic, expressive look of early drag racing cars. Together, the Skeg and the Machina show how Mini's new design language can bend in different directions without breaking. One looks to lifestyle, the other to motorsport, but both are unmistakably JCW. Will they be made? That's a great question. In this form, likely not. But don't be surprised to see Mini take some chances on future JCW products. If the reception is positive, and we think it will be, we could see some things that look very similar to what we see here right now on showroom floors. And no, we might not see giant polka dots, but there's an aesthetic here that feels honest and it feels mechanical. And I think there's something that ultimately, when we think about how cars are moving, there's a space there that Mini can occupy, that it has that mechanical honesty and that connection that they have a right to own in a lot of ways. And when we see these concepts, we see Mini connecting with that and perhaps moving into that direction a little bit. If you like this video, of course, hit the like button. We really appreciate it. And for more videos like this, please click subscribe. And as always, head over to MotoringFile for all the latest Mini news and, of course, a much, much, much deeper look at these two concepts.